Welcome to Core Concepts, Talks on Truth, presented by Institute of Applied Metaphysics, Church of Revelation, and One Community. Tonight, we're blessed with a unique, interesting speaker, Steve Lancaster. Steve was the pastor, founder of the Happy Church here in Memphis, Tennessee. While he set out on a spiritual journey, he left the Happy Church after 22 years and became a massage therapist. And in discovering his true roots, he dwelled into a lot of things. Steve's going to tell you all about his spiritual journey into being where he is today. Steve?
Thank you, Jackie. I appreciate the introduction. It's a real joy to be with you guys today. I appreciate the invitation from Jim Powell. It's always a privilege to share with others the spiritual journey that I've been on, and I'm sure there are many things that resonate with your own life as well. And I know that many of you are experienced in this path, sort of leaving the conventional mindsets and allowing yourself to explore and experience more of the divine outside of some of the limited cultural definitions that are imposed upon the divine experience. I know one of Jim's core concepts is the concept of unfolding as a universal principle in many of the world religions. We are always unfolding, like the petals of a rose. We're always growing. We're always having new experiences, and as the opening slide says, awakening choices confront us daily. You know, I think just as the body has rhythms of sleeping and waking, I believe we go through the same thing in our spiritual life. There's times that we're very much awake and we're taking in new information. And then sometimes we drift off back into sleep and slumber and maybe live under the illusion that we've got a lot figured out. But sooner or later we hear the alarm clock calling us, and we wake up again and come to understand there's a lot that we do not know, and we are confronted with the crossroads, a choice of either taking the path to greater learning, greater respect for others, or staying on a narrow, confined path, which hopefully is not the choice of the world today. I believe there is an awakening taking place. I believe that in a massive way, people are coming to understand that a lot of polarities and conflicting ideas that we have held are irrelevant when we look at the cohesive, essential principles that bind us all together. And I believe in today's world, with the increasing wars and conflict, we realize more than ever the need to major on the majors and minor on the minors, and wake up to what's important and continue to grow in that path. I graduated from Bob Jones University in 1978, and it's amazing, Julie, because at that time I knew everything. And it was a shocking thing to leave the university and realize how little I knew. Traveled to India and Nepal in the fall of 1977, and as a young college student, it's fascinating that I went there to educate the Indians on spiritual principles and awaken them to truth in all of its parameters. Well, as you can imagine, quite the opposite occurred. I think I'm a bit like Jim, who ventured into Vietnam to convert the Buddhists, and instead of changing them, he was changed a little bit in some of his outlooks. Good to see you, Charles. For 22 years, I was pastor of the Happy Church in Memphis, Tennessee, and you see me there with my son, Scott. It was truly a wonderful experience in my life. I was branching out into broader spiritual experiences than I had been trained in. So it was a phase of growth, a phase of learning that the divine is not just something for an old dusty book on a shelf, but actually is alive and energetic in our life today. And we witnessed what is called miracles. We saw phenomenal things happen when people collectively agreed, expected, and invoked the powers and the assistance of the divine. Can I give you a definition for all of that or explain it? I certainly cannot. But I can say that I was eyewitness to some incredible things that were as surprising to me as they were to others. But I began to learn the power of childlike faith, of simplistic approach to the divine. I had a friend, he said, you know, God is better felt than telt. We really fall short in trying to explain the divine. But when we just jump in, and even as the sacred New Testament texts tell us, if you become as a child, you enter into the experience of the kingdom. And I think this was part of my education process, was to become more childlike in my approach to the divine and realize there was much to be learned. There's a proverb that says, through desire, a man separates himself and intermeddles with all wisdom. This was very much my life experience. I, for some reason, was born with an incredible curiosity. And I know they say curiosity kills the cat, but you know, it might help the cat get out of a burning building too. So it's a two-way street, and certainly we have to focus and guide our curiosities. But my hunger to know more about things that were ignored, debunked, defied by conventional wisdom, I felt that if there was that much resistance to the knowing of these things, then there must be something important to the knowing of these things. And I lost a few friends along the way, gained some other friends. So it's a nice trade-off. Asleep is a cozy condition. This is one of our Chihuahua friends at the lake house named Capitan. And believe me, he is in charge. He was the firstborn of a litter of 7, is it, Glenda? But, you know, it's fun to curl up and sleep. I've done that for many years of my life. I would know there were things in the wings that needed to be revealed, that needed to be searched and studied, needed to be explored. But, you know, I knew that if I got out of my cozy bed and began to explore those things, it could really upset my comfort zone. Do you know what I mean? But I encourage you, we all need times of sleep, we all need times of rest, but we also need times of awakening in which we realize that there's a lot to be seen, a lot in this world that we need to look around, observe for the benefit of humanity.